You remember that old movie, Weekend at Bernie's? Two young guys so anxious not to screw up a party weekend at the boss's beach house that when the boss suddenly dies, they devise a plan to hide the fact that he's dead and just carry the corpse around like he's alive. Party saved. Well, it was hilariously delivered because it was fiction, a comedy. Not so funny, however, is the way Weekend at Bernie's is playing out in real life with our own commander in sleep. In just the last couple of days, Joe Biden has stumbled his way through a foreign policy minefield. When I say minefield, I mean literally. And the way the White House follows him around with walkbacks and cleanups is reminiscent of scenes from Weekend at Bernie's, where the boss is literally dangling in their arms and the partygoers play along because they're just there to have a good time. Those partygoers are the mainstream media, giddy about their guy as president. So no one in the media asks, is he okay? Is he all there? Is he even aware of his gaffes? Gaffes, which, by the way, could light up the planet in a World War III. Gaffes poking the crazy man Putin right in the eyes. Biden on Putin. So we all agree, but yelling that out loud, walking out of a gala event, let me give you a hand here, Mr. President. No, don't do that. And the White House walked it back immediately. Or how about this one?
You're dealing every day with Vladimir Putin. I mean, look at what he's done to these people. What does it make you think?
He's a butcher.
He's a butcher. Again, an off-the-cuff remark that the White House had to clean up immediately. Or how about this one?
Look at how they're stepping up. And you're going to see when you're there, and some of you have been there, you're going to see women, young people standing in the middle of front of a damn tank, just saying, I'm not leaving. I'm holding my ground.
You're going to see when you're there in Ukraine to our troops. No, sir, that's a policy you yourself said wasn't going to happen. Again, an ad-lib gaffe that needed explanation by the White House. You want more? Yeah, me too.
We would respond if he uses it. The nature of the response would depend on the nature of the use. It would trigger a response in kind.
In kind.
Whether or not you're asking whether NATO would cross, we'd make that decision at the time.
In kind. Well, that's not going to happen. No matter how bad Putin gets, I got a hunch we would never, ever use chemical weapons of mass destruction on human beings. Is Biden even aware of his blunders? And the one that he delivered in Poland, those 9 words that could change the world.
We will have a different future, a brighter future, rooted in democracy and principle, hope and light, of decency and dignity, of freedom and possibilities. For God's sake, this man cannot remain in power.
That's regime change, and that's a policy America should never use, ever. The White House walked that bad boy back almost immediately. 47 minutes it hung out there, though. But then your commander in deep sleep doubled down.
I'm not walking anything back. The fact of the matter is I was expressing the moral outrage I felt. People like this shouldn't be ruling countries, but they do. The fact they do, but doesn't mean I can't express my outrage about it.
Well, somebody put him in the Lincoln bedroom, lock the door, hide the key, at least until Putin is done playing Monopoly with Europe. Need more proof this man is dangerously incompetent? Look at this. Here's a screenshot of a cheat sheet Biden brought to the press conference he had yesterday. It literally outlines how he's supposed to answer, quote, tough Putin questions. The president of the United States, the most powerful nation on the planet, the man who commands the mightiest military in the world, needs a cheat sheet to answer 25-year-olds' questions just out of journalism school. Let that sink in for a minute. Are you paying attention yet? All of these examples are from the last 10 days, folks. He's just so lost in space, he's confused. He isn't aware he's making very dangerous remarks on behalf of America. Biden had literally called for a world war with Putin. This man is Bernie. And the people holding up Bernie, Blinken, Jake Sullivan, Jen Psaki, are aiding and abetting America's heightened risk profile. And the media, the partygoers at Bernie's weekend beach house, don't seem to give a rat's ass that the world has become a volatile and dangerous place because of this charade of a presidency they're perpetrating on us all. So, do you want to know how the movie Weekend at Bernie's turns out? Well, they all finally realize Bernie is gone, but it's too late. The party blows up, cops come, the place blows up, and it all ends badly. Want to know how weakened at Biden's turns out if they don't stop this aging, incompetent man from opening his mouth? Here's what it looked like in a 1958 test of a thermonuclear weapon. Just watch. Detonation, fission and fusion. Look at that. Look at that. That's one. And to think, Russia has 6,000 of those.